everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm doing a makeup brush declutter, so if you want to see it, just keep watching. First I'm going to start with my face brushes. This one is by It Cosmetics. This is the brush I use for foundation. I really like this brush for foundation, and it is a little bit dirty because I did use it this morning. But this is the only It Cosmetics brush I have. They are a little pricey, but I think it is definitely worth it. I will be getting more of these in the future. It's really good quality. I love this one for foundation. It's just, which really any flat top like kabuki brush that you get will be good for foundation, but I just especially like this one. Next I have this. This is a powder brush by Morphe. This is what I always use for my powder, and the handle has broke off on it. I'm going to glue it back, but I just haven't yet. But I mean, it's still usable just like this. I've still been using it. Again, I really like this brush. I like the Morphe brand a lot, and yeah, I'm just going to keep using this even if it's broken. I mean, I guess I could buy another one, but I feel like this is still a perfectly good brush, so I'll just continue to use it, and eventually I'll glue the handle back on. Next, I have a few brushes by Real Techniques. This one, it's a little bit dirty as well. Sorry, I thought these are a little bit more clean than that, but this is actually a really good brush to use for foundation as well. I don't like this one quite as much as I do the one by It Cosmetics, but this is a really good option if you're on a budget because the Real Techniques are very good quality for the price. This brush is like a contour type brush, but honestly, I really don't use this one. I just don't really see, I don't have much of a purpose for it, so it just really doesn't get used. This one is a blush brush. This is very good for applying just a really light layer of blush if you just want like a blush that's not very dark, because like the way this one is made, it's made similar to like a powder brush, and it will just put a very light coat of blush on. So this brush, I'm probably going to declutter this one since I don't really use it, so I want to set it to this side. Next we have this Sigma tapered kabuki brush. This is supposed to be used for foundation, but honestly, I really just don't like this one. I don't really see the point in like a tapered kabuki brush like this. I think it leaves like brush strokes, and I've even tried to use it for like concealer, but it's just a little bit too thick for that, so I'm going to be decluttering this one. Next, I have two of the exact same brush. These are both by Luxie. I really like Luxie brushes. All of the brushes that I have by Luxie, I've gotten in subscription boxes, and these are two of my favorite. I use these for blush. The way they are angled makes it like perfect for your like your cheek area and your cheekbone. I think it just goes on really nicely with these brushes, and I probably really don't need to. This one is actually kind of cracking at the bottom because honestly, I don't know if my daughter got a hold of this or if one of the cats did, but that's why it looks like that. But I'm going to keep both of these because I use them both a lot, and like if one is sturdy, I'll use the other, so keeping these. Next, I have this Cover FX brush. This is supposed to be like a contour brush. I can't remember where I got this. I think I got this in a subscription box too, but I never use this one. I don't really contour, so I'm just going to be setting this one to the side. This brush is by Hourglass. I got this in a box from Influencer. I got the Hourglass stick foundation and this brush came with it. And I actually really like this brush. I don't really use it that much, but it is a nice foundation brush, so I'm going to keep it. We have this angled kabuki brush by Sigma. Again, this one I don't really use. I mean, it's okay, but I prefer the flat top kabuki as opposed to an angled kabuki for foundation. So I'm going to be decluttering this one. I have this really tiny Tarte Cosmetics brush. This came with I think it came with a contour stick or something like that. But it's so tiny, I never really use this, so I'm going to declutter it. Next I have this brush. It is a brush for contour. I think I will actually keep this one just because I don't have any other brush for contour, but I don't know, I don't really remember where I got this one. It doesn't have any brand or anything listed, but I'm going to keep this one. Next we have all of my eye brushes except for this one. This is by Luxie. It is a foundation brush. I got this in I think in a BoxyCharm, some kind of subscription box. I've yet to use this. I don't really like this type of brush because to me it looks like it's just like a paintbrush or something. I don't know, but I think I may try this one before I declutter it. So I'm going to hang on to it. This is just a really old like eyelash separator top brush, so it's definitely time to part with it. This is an eyeshadow brush by Morphe, but it's so thick. Like I don't really like using this because it's just too big. So I'm going to declutter it. This brush is by Anastasia. I use it with the Dip Brow Pomade and I love it, so I'm keeping this brush for sure. I also have this brush that is very similar to the Anastasia one, but this one is by, I think this one's by e.l.f. maybe. It's definitely not as good, but I still use it sometimes if I can't find the other one or if it's sturdy or something like that. So I'm going to hang on to this. This is the Sigma Tapered Blending Brush. I absolutely love this brush. It's the E40. I use this every time I do my eyeshadow, and I don't ever apply eyeshadow to it. I just use this to blend out the eyeshadows that are already on my lid. Such a good blending brush. Love this brush. This is probably my favorite brush that I own, so I'm definitely keeping it. Next we have this Sigma Precision Flat Angled Brush. I think this one is for concealer, but I never really use it. I always just use my beauty blender for concealer. So I'm probably going to declutter this. I don't really have any other use for it, so. I have this brush again by Luxie. It is a blending brush just like my Sigma one that I love, so I'm going to keep this one. This brush is by Crown Brush. It's just a dual-ended brush. I actually don't really like these like dual-ended brushes because I feel like they're hard to store and I always kind of forget about them, so I think I'm going to declutter this. This is a brush I got in one of my Urban Decay palettes, and again, it's dual-ended. I don't really use it, so declutter. These brushes I've never even used before. This one's still in the packaging. I've gotten them all in like subscription boxes or something. This one's another Luxie one, Precision Crease Brush. I just haven't used these. This one's by Furless. I don't know. But I haven't had a chance to use any of these, so I want to keep them until I really get a chance to try them out. So I'll be keeping all of these. This is a Real Techniques brush, and again, I really like these brushes. This is just like a basic eyeshadow brush. I don't use it a whole lot, but I do use it from time to time, so I'm going to keep it. This one's by Sigma. I use this one to pack on eyeshadow to my lid. Typically, I'll just use my finger if it's like a glitter shade, but if I'm using a solid color, I'll use this brush. These two are very like small brushes. This one's by e.l.f. It says concealer brush, but I don't use it for concealer. This one's the Morphe E35. These I use for like if I want to put a shadow underneath my eyelid and on my lower lash line as like a type of like eyeliner, or if I need to, a couple of times I've used these for my eyebrows as well. So I'll be hanging on to both of these. These two brushes are by BH Cosmetics. Don't really care for BH Cosmetics brushes, to be honest. I mean, they're okay. They're just like a decent blending brush, and they're very cheap, but I have enough of them to where I don't need these two. This brush I use for my highlight, and I don't even know, defining eyeshadow brush. I don't even know the brand of this, but I really like it because the size and how it's like angled. I think it's really good for like highlighting the brow bone area. I'll be keeping it. I just realized this one is kind of chewed up as well. These two are both by Luxie. They are blending brushes. We have two, they're both, yeah, tapered blending brush, 205 and 229. This one is just a little bit bigger than this one. I really love these Luxie brushes. I use them all the time, so I'll be keeping these. This brush is by Sigma. It's the Shader Crease brush, I think, E47. This is what I use for my crease. And this is a really good brush, so I'm going to be hanging on to it. And then this one as well, I use in my crease, like if that one's dirty or if I just can't find it. I know I have a lot of duplicates, but I do use these brushes all the time. So this one I don't like quite as well. I'm not really sure what the brand of it is, but I do use it from time to time. So I'm going to be keeping it. This one is by Morphe. This one I use for like my outer like crease, or my outer corner like that of my eye. It's the Morphe E18, and it's really good for packing on like a lot of shadow and getting like good pigmentation. So I'll keep this. And then lastly, I have this fan brush. I forgot about this one with the face brushes, but this is by MAC. I use this for highlight. I used it today. As you can tell, it's dirty, but I really like this fan brush. It's a very good brush. It's the only MAC brush I own, and I'm going to be keeping it. So these are all of the brushes that I'm keeping. I know it looks like a lot. It is a lot, but I do use all of these brushes, or they're new brushes that I just haven't gotten a chance to use. And then these are all of the brushes that I'm decluttering. Probably doesn't seem like a lot since I have like such a huge collection, but I feel like it's good for me because I love my brushes, and so I think like this is a good amount for me to part with. So thank you for watching this video. If you liked it, please subscribe, and thank you so much for watching.